quick horizontal asymptote crash course. You always compare the biggest exponents. And when they match, bud, when they match, these are our easiest. We're left with 5x cubed over 15x cubed. X cubes cancel, and I'm left with 5/15 or 1/3. And that's going to be my horizontal asymptote. What if I take what I had before? I'm going to just take this problem. And instead of 5x to the third, if I had 5x to the 13th on top, anytime the exponent on top is bigger, there is no horizontal asymptote ever, okay? But then the last one is if, again, I take my original problem, is if this was 5x to the third over 15x to the 13th, anytime the exponent in the bottom is bigger, every time the horizontal asymptote is 0. So those are our 3 different scenarios. When they match, you're just left with the coefficients, 5 over 15 or 1/3. When the top is bigger, top exponent is bigger, no horizontal asymptote. When the bottom exponent is bigger, y equals 0 every time. Okay, we're on page 59, the bottom one. First thing I always do is go find the whole, meaning we got to factor. Could I factor the top? No, we just have x plus 2. What about the bottom? Yeah, we got x plus 2 and x minus 2. Do we have a whole? Yeah, boom. Where do we have a whole? When my x is a -2, right? Here's why I wanted to do this one with you. What's left? What's my function when I get rid of that whole? Careful. Wait, real fast. What's 8 divided by 8? 1. So careful. What's up here when I cross that out? It's 1. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to do this one with you. We'd have 1 over x minus 2. So just be really careful. If I cross out the common factor, it still has a 1 left where it is, just because anything over itself is 1. Okay, this is going to dictate all of our answers, y'all. This is dictating all of them. So where's the whole going to be? If x is -2, where would that whole be? Yeah, it'd be 1 over a -4, which I agree, Steph. I'd say that as -1/4. The next thing we do, let's go put that whole on our picture. -2, -1/4, boop. The next thing I'm going to go do all day, every day is that vertical asymptote. Where's that vertical asymptote? That's, again, if you want that little note, it's when the denominator equals 0. Where's this denom equal 0? Yeah. When does this denominator equal 0, right? When x is 2? I'm going to go right 2, and I'm going to put in my vertical asymptote. The next thing I always do is that horizontal asymptote. That's the third thing I do. The horizontal asymptote is when we compare the variables and their exponents, and we see where it's bigger. Does the top have any variable? No. The bottom has an x to the first, so the bottom is going to be bigger. Whenever the denominator's variable is bigger, it's always a horizontal asymptote at 0. All day, every day. Boom, 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 boom. And maybe you say your denominator's exponent is bigger than the numerator. That's how I knew that. We didn't even have one in the numerator, so it's really x to the 0 on top, x to the first on the bottom. The denominator exponent was bigger than the numerator. It's always going to be 0.
How do you do the x-intercept?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I always do y-intercept first, actually, because I think that one's easier.
Yeah.
The y-intercept is when x is 0. Let's go plug in a 0 there. If x is 0, what's my y-intercept going to be? Yeah, you guys okay with that? It's 1 over -2. So when x is 0, my y is -1/2. And I'm going to go to my graph, and I'm just going to put a little y-intercept there. Yeah, this is good. I understand your question, Labeo. My x-intercept is what I'm going to do last, and that's always when the y is 0. When I plug in a 0 there, I'd get 0 equals 1 over x minus 2. And some of you might be like, oh, well, I was doing that shortcut of just always writing 0 equals just the numerator because those will cancel. I agree. 0 times anything is 0, and I'm left with 1. Does 0 equal 1? No. So therefore, we just don't have an x-intercept there. You okay with that?
I like to say vertical and horizontal.
When I graph that, does that kind of match what my picture is looking like? And it looks like we've got to cross my y-axis. I've got a vertical asymptote at 2. So I'm going to go ahead and follow my guidelines. I'm going to do mine in blue. I'm going to say, all right, I've got to hug this vertical asymptote. Oh, this one's kind of funky. Here's my hole, right? The hole was at -2, -1/4. Okay, so I'm going to just say, all right, I'm hugging this horizontal asymptote. I'm going through that hole, going through my y-intercept, and then hugging this vertical asymptote. And then this one is pretty willy-nilly. As we're looking at page 60, sound good, Mandy? Page 60. Let's go to the top of it. The first thing you're always going to want to do is factor, 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 factor. So toot or o-toot this guy? Toot. We're going to just toot. What would the top multiply to be 9 and add to be -6? -3 times -3 is 9. -3 plus -3 is -6. So I'm going to say x minus 3. X minus 3. I dig it. On the bottom, toot or o-toot? Toot. What multiplies to be -6 adds to be -1? -3 times 2 is -6. -3 plus 2. Okay. -3 and 2. So that's my function. And what I would then always do first, and maybe we write ourselves like little notes down here, which one we do first. The whole goes first every time. Whole goes first. Where would you say we have a hole, guys? Boom, we got a hole at 3. So I'm going to say 3 something. And what I think is really important, now we go rewrite what is left. So let's go say y equals what's left. X minus 3 over x plus 2. That was what's left. Okay, so that is what we're left with. You guys, this is then what we go plug that 3 in to find out where is the hole. Let's go plug that in. Where is the hole? If x is 3, oh, interesting. If x is 3, where's the hole going to be? 0 over 5 is still 0. So I've got a hole at 3, 0. You want to know what we're going to go do? We're going to go over to our picture. We're going to go put a hole at 3, 0. Boop, hole at 3, 0. The next thing I'm going to do is the vertical asymptote. So me personally, I'm going to put a 2 next to the vertical asymptote. What kind of note, what might we put by the vertical asymptote? How do we find a vertical asymptote? It's when the blank equals 0. Denominator, you got it. So maybe if you were like struggle bussing with that, write yourself a note. That's when the denominator equals 0. Write yourself a note. You guys, you only look at this now. This is my everything. We don't go back here. We don't go back here. This is my everything. When does this denominator equal 0? -2. So we're going to say x is -2. We're going to go put that in our pick. Boop, 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 boop. Then the next thing I would do is the horizontal asymptote. I'm going to name that one number 3. Horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote is what we did yesterday, and that's all about comparing the variables with their exponents and the biggest exponent on the top and the bottom. Do you agree here we've got a 1x over 1x? That's the biggest variable in the top and the bottom. Or if Parker looked at the top, we had a 1x squared over 1x squared. It doesn't matter which one we look at. It'll always be the same. What cancels out? X divided by x is just going to get me 1, and that's where your horizontal asymptote is. Y equals 1, horizontal line, boom. Okay, the last thing I would do is the x and the y-intercepts. Me personally, I think the y-intercept easier, so I'm going to go do that as my 4th step. The y-intercept, does anyone remember what we plug in for x? X is 0. I'm going to say x is 0, and again, I'm going to go plug that in right here. I'm going to go plug that in right here. So you might draw yourself an arrow. You might be like, I know where I'm going. You might not need those arrows. If x is 0, what would I get on top? -3 over 2. -3 over 2. If x is 0, we got a -3 over 2, which is the same as -1.5. So on that y-axis, because it's the y-intercept, I'm going to go down 1.5, and I'm going to go put a little dot there. Holy moly, there's a lot of steps here. There's a lot going on. The last thing for the x-intercept, that's when y is 0. And again, you're always going to plug it in right here. I'm going to say when y is 0, I'm plugging that y in, boop, right there. I'm actually going to put that in green to see if maybe that might help us a little. Put that in green, red, whatever. If my y is 0, I'd have 0 equals x minus 3 over x plus 2. You could write that step or you could not, because what do we have to do first every time? Multiply by that denominator. So good, Park. When you multiply by that x plus 2, every single time when you multiply by that denominator, you're going to get 0 equals the numerator every single time. So you could just jump to 0 equals the numerator every time you're doing an x-intercept. Where's that x-intercept going to be? 3. Agreed. When I add 3 to both sides, I'd get 3. So you're saying, yeah, it'd be at 3, 0. Which when you go to our picture, do you agree it is going to be crossing the x-axis there, but I have a hole. So my graph, when I draw it, I am going to go, but I'm just going to skip over that hole. But technically it's where we're crossing that x-axis. So at this point, now I'm going to go to my Calci and I'm going to graph this original because we've got that scaffolding built. I'm going to go to my y equals screen and I'm going to go graph x squared minus 6x plus 9 over x squared minus x minus 6. And we've got the makings for this graph now. But know that I don't know why I have these little points on my graph. I don't know where these points are from. But do I follow their horizontal asymptote and their vertical asymptote? Absolutely. And so all I've got to think is I say, all right, I'm going to move this over. Lapeo, poor guy. I've got no points that I've got to worry about over here. So I'm just going to draw that portion of my graph in right here. Pretty willy-nilly. And then I do need to be careful. I just want to go through my y-intercept and my x-intercept. So I'm going to hug that vertical asymptote, cross through my y-intercept. I've got to go through the x-axis at positive 3, 0, but I'm going to just leave it as a whole. And we did it. Back to page 60, last question. That first step is always go find the whole, and we do that by factoring. What's the top going to factor into? Yeah. Difference of squares, x plus 1, x minus 1. What's the bottom going to factor into? What toots? What multiplies to be 1 and adds to be negative 2? Negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 adds to be negative 2. Very good stuff. Do we have a hole? Where's that hole going to be? When x is 1. It's really important to write what the heck is left. X plus 1 over x minus 1. This is going to dictate all the stuffs. Let's go use that to find where is the hole. And this is where Lebeo was like, wait, when I plug in that 1 here, what would we get on top? 2 over 0. And anytime I try to no hole because we can't divide by it. And it's going to make sense in a second, like what just happened. Because to your point, we do have a common factor. But that next thing that we always look at is that vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote is when the denominator equals 0. When does this denominator equal 0? When x is 1. Guess what we were saying was the whole? Weren't we saying the whole was when x is 1? And it makes sense. If I've got a vertical asymptote when x is 1, yeah, we're going to have a hole there. The graph doesn't exist there. So this vertical asymptote kind of trumped the hole. Okay, the whole function doesn't exist there. Yeah. So I feel okay about that. Okay, Parker, horizontal asymptote on this one. They match. X over x would simplify, Bandy?
1.
Yeah. Or if you thought about it as 1x squared over 1x squared, it's 1. I love it. So we got y equals 1. No, good call. Because couldn't it have been, what if it was 6x over 3x? Then that would have been 2. Yeah. Okay, say that again. You're okay with that? Thomas? That will take whatever those coefficients are. Okay, y-intercept is just plugging in 0 for x. If x was 0, you guys, what would we get on top? 1 over -1 gets me -1. So I'd have the point 0, -1 point. And then lastly, that x-intercept is when y is 0. The shortcut is throwing your 0 right here and having it just equal to the numerator. You could put 0 equals this whole thing, but the first step, the x minus 1s are going to cancel. So we'd really just have 0 equals x plus 1. What's that x going to be? -1. So that x-intercept is going to be -1, 0. Boom. You guys, this one is so quote-unquote basic, I don't even need to graph it in my graphing calculator. You are always welcome to. I'm just here to say I know it's got to hug this, go through, and hug. So I'm going to just draw my little blue line here. Blue line, go through, hug. And then willy-nilly over here because there are no points that it has to go through over here.